Okay, so I was going to post a video about me being paranoid at work, and maybe I was a bit, but after analyzing the situation a bit more, I was being lied to, and I think I had reason to be suspicious. I think paranoia might have been the wrong word. It might have been a little bit too harsh on myself, and I have a habit of doing that. And I think that is both a good and a bad thing. If you really analyze yourself to death, you're never going to get anywhere. But if you analyze yourself the right amount, you basically check yourself before you get yourself into trouble. But basically what it was a pissing contest, essentially. Is very much so kind of that Sigma male type meme thing. A younger guy that didn't really want to listen to me, just wanted to one-up me. And I think that is normal, and I think everyone kind of does that. Some people more subtly, some people more aggressively. And then some people do it, they realize they do it, they mature, and they get over it. And I've been in his shoes before. Yeah, I get it type of thing. And I'm getting over that, I should say. Like, you need humility to be a student, especially if it's something really easy, because then it can be embarrassing that you don't understand it. Like, if it's something like, if you're showing someone how to turn on a lawnmower, or something, setting up tables or janitorial, shoveling snow, like, if you're showing people these things and they don't understand it, it can be embarrassing for them. So there is that. But over the week, I kind of thought about it a little bit, like not obsessively, but it came into my mind a little bit every now and again. And he was just lying about a lot of stuff that didn't really match up. And I think he's just trying to present himself as the man. And what he moved from another town, and he was essentially complaining that it's more expensive here, which it is, so he needs a second job, which you do. And I'm with him there, but what I caught on to was he said, well, yeah, I could still be living in my old town and living with my parents and saving money. That I understood. And then all of a sudden, like 2 minutes down the road, he's like, oh yeah, in my old town I have a house. And then he's like talking like it's his house, not his parents' house, like he owns a house. And he's like, oh yeah, I could rent that out or something. And then, so his story within 2 minutes didn't match his own story, which is kind of crazy. Like, he might be very narcissistic to thinking that I have like an IQ of like 50. And I've joked about that. Well, I haven't joked about that low, but I said under 100 half jokingly, because I am kind of a little bit blah since the weed years. But anyways, so he either thought I was so stupid I wouldn't catch on to that, or he's so deluded or psychotic that he believed both to be true. Either way, everything that he was saying wasn't matching up to his own story. So yeah, I had right to be suspicious there of him. And I was kind of wondering if he's doing his job or not, if he recognizes me as someone who's been there longer and he takes me seriously, that he isn't trying to always argue with me over things. Like, I've been there for 3 years, he's been there for 6 months. I've been there on the schedule, he's been there casual as a fill-in, as a helper. So he was always trying to kind of tell me, oh, well, I want to do it this way, I want to do it that way. And most of the times I let him, but it got to the point where he was just kind of thinking that it was his place. And I got a little bit angry, and I checked him on that, and he apologized. We shook hands. But it seems to be because he worked the day before when I'm recording this, and he was on his own and he did nothing. And when he worked with me, he worked, and he was trying to give this attitude like he can do it better than me. And then when he was left alone, he didn't do anything. He didn't take the garbages out. He didn't mop the floors. He left it for the next guy. All the setups were wrong. The chairs were still out. Like, everything was wrong. So he's only the man when people are watching him. And he's telling these fake status stories of him owning a house when he already said that he could be living with his parents to save money. So the guy's a liar. He's a manipulator. I don't trust him. So I checked him, and I don't feel bad about that anymore now that I'm analyzing it, because I deleted a video. I didn't upload it. That was kind of going over, I feel bad for checking this guy. But now that I'm looking at it, it's like, this guy was an asshole. He came into this place with this attitude. He came in, he made himself a tea. He was talking on the phone to like his friends or whatever when I was setting up the tables. And then he joined in and he tried to, like, I don't know. I'm going through, I don't like putting someone in their place, and I don't feel the best about it. Is kind of, I'm trying to articulate it and think about it like this, but it was crazy. And there's been a few people at work that have either lied or got into these pissing contests, where there's another guy, he wanted to argue over the weather, but I'm starting to kind of clue on to when people are getting into these pissing contest situations. Because he said, oh, it looks like it's going to snow tomorrow. And I said, oh, I doubt that. And then he kind of thought that I was going in a pissing contest type, haha, type thing. And then he looked it up on the weather, and I said, oh, I don't doubt it's reported that way. I just doubt it's going to happen. And he said, oh, that's fair. So I think people are kind of at each other's throats a little bit, and maybe he's been victim to that several times at all of his workplaces, and it's just kind of ingrained in his head that he's doing these lies and, I don't know, signalings and pissing contests, that's just how he operates. So I think we could be a little bit more conscious of that, and maybe just be more observant of ourselves is kind of the moral of this video. If there is one, it's a bit of a ramble video. I don't usually cut my videos or edit them, but I did cut and edit this a little bit just so I could add this last 2-minute piece in, because I had kind of an extra thought of it, which I just told you. Don't know if it would have been better with or without this, but I'm adding this on. Okay, peace.